My name is Elena Richardson. Hey everyone.
Thank you very much. And why did you choose to study at University of Aberdeen?
Because I had friends from Riga who moved to Scotland to study in Aberdeen, and I heard really good feedback about this university, and just from their recommendation. So somebody from my friends moved to Aberdeen a couple of years prior, and they lived there.
That's very interesting. Thank you. And what were some of your favorite memories from Aberdeen?
Uh, just, I guess, studying and hanging out with my friends, getting to know people from all over Europe, studying together, working on different projects, going out, I guess.
Yeah, thank you. And did you participate in any clubs or societies?
I did. I was part of like, we had a finance society. I honestly don't remember the name anymore, but we had a finance like gatherings and club with extra activities as well.
And would you say it was beneficial for your career?
Definitely, yes. It just was more directed towards my interests because I wanted to know more about just finance, career in general, and just get to know the people who have same interests. So yes, it was definitely beneficial.
Thank you. And what were your initial career aspirations while studying? What did you want to do?
So initially, my degree is in accountancy, actually. And when I picked accountancy, to be honest, I kind of picked it. I wasn't sure yet what I want to do. I was, I guess, too young to really like narrow down what I would like to do. I picked accounting because I was good at math in school. So I knew I should probably choose something with like uh, analytical degree where I can use analysis and calculation skills. So I picked accounting. However, it was a good degree, but I don't work as accountant right now, even though I work in finance, which is, it's different. It's very different, but it definitely having that degree helped me just in general to, I guess, be better with numbers. But my initial degree is accountancy.
Yes. And while studying at university, what did you enjoy the most about your degree?
I think just understanding how like spreadsheets work, like profit and loss statement, balance sheets. I like the case studies when teachers would give us actually real life examples, and we would have to think, how to calculate something, which is very useful. So I liked case studies and just working on projects, trying to understand real life examples instead of just like textbook scenario. And I think it's very useful.
Yes, thank you. And did you make many friends or connections during your time at university?
Yes, definitely. Like all kind of friends and connections from people in Europe, and it was good times. I was going out a lot when I was in school. But unfortunately, right now, I don't keep in touch with anyone, which is very, that's just how life is. I
Yeah.
do keep in touch with my friends from high school, which is more, like long-lasting connections from back from my childhood. But with the school friends, it just, unfortunately, it just that's part of life, maybe part of my story. But even though it was great memories, everyone kind of spread out again after, university. Everyone is a different place, and that's just how it is. But the times were really good with my friends while
Yes,
I was in school.
thank you. And did you participate in any internships or part-time jobs while you were at university?
Mm, I did participate in both an internship and part-time. I had a part-time job all my student life. I was working like at a retail stores. I think I worked at Holland and Barrett, if you still have that store. It's like a health nutrition
Mhm.
protein shake place. And I did have an internship in a tax firm one summer where I was like an intern and studied how to prepare for, taxes, tax returns, stuff like that.
Yeah, thank you. And why did you decide to move to United States?
Because I do have a family relations. So my uncle, he lives in California. That's where I'm now. And he invited me to, to move over. He thought it will be very fun for me to explore living in the US, see if I like it, more or less than living in Europe. And at that time of my life, I was like very adventurous. I wanted to see new places. I really liked Aberdeen and Scotland in general, but I wanted to explore more. Like I wasn't ready to, I guess, settle down in one place yet. And it was exciting to think I could, live in California. Everyone knows that, about California. So I thought it would be good to, venture out and see if I like it. And if I don't, I could always come back.
Yes, that's very interesting. Thank you. And what is Morgan Stanley?
Morgan Stanley is a global wealth management firm that provides wealth management services and banking too.
Yes, thank you. And can you explain your job and responsibilities within the company?
Yes, so my job is I'm an assistant. I work in a team of financial advisors. So I'm their assistant. I'm assistant. My name is my position is registered um, client registered service representative. But to make it simple, I'm an assistant to a team of advisors. In Morgan Stanley, we have a solo advisors, so just one person who has their own practice. So they have their office, they have their book of clients that they service. They find them themselves. They need to prospect. It's like a sales job. You call, you find wealthy people, and you you have to introduce yourself and convince them to be with your practice that you can invest for them and make them achieve their financial goals, grow their wealth. And then there are teams of advisors. So it's a group of people who decided to combine forces instead of trying to achieve this on their own, which is very tough. Like being a solo financial advisors, it's extremely hard unless you're a very well-connected person, a bunch of wealthy people who want to invest with you. But to be in a group of advisors, it's more manageable nowadays. Most advisors try to be in groups, so they build teams versus to work alone. And basically, they have their practice. Every team has about 200 clients. You can have more or less. Every team is more or less busy. It depends on how successful you are. You can have. There are super massive teams that have like billions under management, so under their, management, or smaller teams. It depends how they grow and how long they have been in business. And each team needs to have an assistant. An assistant is not like a secretary, because it's completely different. Assistant is person who services all clients' requests, basically anything that they need aside of investments. So when it comes to investments, that's the area that advisor, deals with the client. They want to buy a new investment, sell, recommendation, how market is doing. I don't know, that much about it because I know enough, but definitely not even close to be able to, provide investment advice to some smart, super wealthy people. But an assistant, it's still a great job because you still deal with a lot of legal, financial, responsibilities that are complicated. It's, it takes a lot of still practice to learn how everything works. But advisors, because they're busy, providing investment advice, they don't have time for all other requests that clients can have. And that's why they need an assistant who can do that. And when you're an assistant, your duties are, you can have many duties. Number one, you open new accounts for clients. And there's so many types of accounts that exist, there's business accounts, there is trusts, there is just individual accounts, and there is all kind of subcategories of these accounts, depending on what they want. And so I can open, accounts for these new clients or accounts for their children, you process any like money requests. They need a wire because they're buying a house. They need to a check sent to the to the government to pay taxes and like any kind of money movement requests. Then they need assistance, and what's what I do to prepare paperwork. It's like a banking paperwork if they want to invest in specific fund, because it's not just like home. Client will tell you, I want to invest in Apple. If it's just an Apple stock, like advisor will invest it for them. But if it's a more complicated investment, it's like a whole procedure that needs to be done to make them invest in it. Or if they want to sell from the investment, it's also like it's all legal, paperwork and procedure and steps need to be done. So all that kind of requests, opening accounts, subscribing client to new investments, selling investments for them, money movements, helping advisors with we have a lot of insurance and annuity business. So if a client wants to like buy a retirement product, I need to prepare all the paperwork for that. So this is kind of my responsibility as an assistant. You deal, it's like very financially related. You help clients service their current needs, whatever they need, prepare different reports for them and stuff like that. So it's very interesting and it's a good, position. The only thing that is lacking from being a financial advisor that you don't really, provide investment advice, because that takes years and it's way more complicated. And some assistants, eventually they want to become an advisor. That's like their goal. I will be an assistant. I will learn the back end of the business, and eventually I will be an advisor. But some are happy to remain assistants, because it's less pressure. You'll still grow. You can take more responsibilities. You may not be called assistant anymore. You can be like a portfolio management director, just have more responsibilities, but you will not be an advisor. But the trick is that if you're an advisor, you will make way more money, because it's a very, like it's a very profitable job. And the disadvantage is that not only you need to know very well the market, provide investment advice, but you also have to be able to attract new clients to your business all the time. So it's kind of a sales job. You need to be able to get on the phone and convince a stranger, to like invest with you. So it's complicated. And if you're an assistant, you still, have exposure to all of this, but you don't have a pressure to like, to meet the tough sales goals. You can have more balanced life. That's why I like my job.
That's very interesting. Thank you. And how did you manage to get a job at Morgan Stanley?
So I can tell you my honest opinion about getting a job like in the top banks, because I am pretty sure I know the right answer. And you never have to apply just like through usual way. That definitely doesn't work. That's from my experience and experience of all my friends. I can definitely tell you, you can never follow regular route, submit application on a website and hope for the best, because they will probably never pick you. You definitely have to do it different way. And the best way that worked for me is definitely LinkedIn. You have to find the branch that you're interested in working just on a website. You need to find people who work in that branch. You need to find the name of the manager, and you need to send them direct LinkedIn message stating you are this and that, you're interested, and you have to email them. And it's easy to figure out emails, their emails. It's like once you make some research, you can find their work email addresses if you really want to. Like, it's not too difficult. Like in our bank, it's always your first name, then period, your last name, and the name of the bank, because it's official email. So it's not a big guesswork. And you have to send them direct emails. This is like how I got every job in my career, only through that. You will never get it through just applying because it's too the pool of people who apply is too big and nobody will pick your name. If they pick, they maybe pick like they have 5 openings. If they have no one else, then maybe they will look at that pool and give a random pick, but they don't do it like that. They only, unfortunately, give jobs to people who either directly reach out to them, so like they just more direct approach, or somebody who is a referral. So like I work now at a bank. My friend said, "Oh, I really want to get a job here. Can you put a word for me?" And of course, that person needs to still be good fit. They need to have applicable experience, but the direct introduction that will help. So either you need to find somebody young who works in a company. You need to reach out to them yourself on LinkedIn and ask for a favor. Look, I'm so interested. Can you please connect me to the manager? Or can you introduce me to the right person? And if they're young, your age, they'll understand that you really, want it, and they will usually help. Or find name of the managers and their emails and send them direct emails or LinkedIn's.
Thank you. This is an amazing advice. Thank you very much. And how is working at Morgan Stanley different from working at UBS?
So when I started work, when I started my career, at least in finance, the first job is always you just pick something you don't know. It's like you're stepping stone. You just whatever you could get, you got. And just that comes to Charles Schwab. That was my first job. But it's like a smaller bank, and when you start there, you are so-called unlicensed. And unlicensed meaning that you don't have any additional licenses, that are needed for to pursue your career. And the smaller places like this, they're more likely to pick you, again, because you're just new from the school than a bigger bank. That's why I started with them, because it was just easier. And they accepted unlicensed candidates. But once I worked there for a year and I got licensed, because when you're working, you will get a few licenses, like tests and certificates that you pass that test and that test. Then I moved to UBS. It's even a bit bigger bank, but it's still not as, I guess, top notch, as Morgan Stanley is considered like a grade A, UBS is grade B, Charles Schwab is grade C in a way. And you can still have a good career in all of them, but it's just, of course you want to work for the best you can.
Yeah.
So UBS was like another step, I had the same role as I have now. It's just a smaller bank, and eventually I went to the bigger bank, the biggest kind of can be.
Yes, thank you. And what are some of your proudest moments throughout your career?
I would say not maybe like a specific memory, but what like I am proud of the most to enjoy is definitely helping and dealing with very successful people, because usually the clients that work with us, they're very, very interesting individuals because they have a lot of wealth. But usually if you have a lot of wealth, you're probably a very interesting person. It means either you invented something, or you started your business that became successful. And it's usually, they have very interesting personalities. And being able to just being exposed to such interesting people, not, the lowest of society, but successful individuals, and work with them and help them with their requests, and being able to, make them happy, help them with something they need quickly, fast, efficiently. That makes me proud and happy that I'm surrounded by successful people.
Thank you. That's very interesting. And how do you manage your time effectively?
Definitely, I have to write everything down. So just I like to use the traditional, just notepad.
Yeah.
I write all the tasks that I need to do for the day. I don't leave it just I will remember it. Like you have to write it down because you have so many things you work on during the day. you may forget, right? So you always write everything down. That's what I do. And I make like a note for myself on a calendar, like that day, don't forget to do this. So I just like try to, I plan it and I write things down. So I know exactly what I need to do. Don't assume you will remember things, because when it's a busy day, you may not.
Yeah, thank you. And what are some books or podcasts you would recommend career or non-career related?
Mm, honestly, I probably can't answer this question very well, because in the past, when I was like in school, I did listen to a bunch of podcasts, when I was in uni, just to like broaden my perspective. Right now, I don't listen to any podcasts, like hardly ever. Maybe Joe Rogan every now and then, you know, just like something like that. But I don't, because life is, your workload is so busy. By the time I'm, in the morning, I go to work. And then once I'm free at 3, I go to the gym. And then I want to eat. And then I want to hang out with my like husband and relax.
Mhm.
So once you are in that routine of work, the life is just like really, they goes by so fast. So like I don't listen to anything in particular anymore, but I like to listen to YouTube. So like I do listen to like finance conversations there. I can't tell you like right now I put a channel, but I'm subscribed to a bunch of channels I like. In fact, I can recommend you one. The one that I like is called what's his name? No, I will not remember right now. But I don't listen to podcasts, but I listen to YouTube, like finance,
Mhm.
videos that
Yeah,
I like.
thank
I can't tell you right now from the top of my head.
yeah. And so a lot of students struggle with stress from academia or any other aspects of their life. What advice do you have for students struggling with stress? How to deal with that?
um, Definitely connect with other people who in your field studying like you, and just being able to talk to others. No, you're not alone dealing with it. That's very helpful. And then I just like definitely going to the gym, release stress, working out, and spending time with my friends. Even though I did study hard when I was in school,
Mhm.
Monday to Friday, on the weekends, I let myself relax, have a drink, go out with friends, do normal things like everyone does, because you cannot just like be study, 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 and not give yourself time to, take it easy.
Mhm.
You study hard, but you need to take it easy too during the weekends.
Yes. And two more questions. A lot of students struggle with transition from academia to professional world. What advice do you have for students to deal with that?
Uh, Definitely to try to do internships while you're still in school. Again, approach the places where you want to work. The best place is just the internet. If you can, like that's how I found all my jobs. If you look, you will know who is the manager in that office, or who, is a recruiter. Actually, even recruiters are not the right people, because they're still like a third party. You need to find people who work in the office and
Mm.
connect with them, even before you graduate. And even if one doesn't respond to you, don't take no for an answer. You have to send another message, send another to another person. Like, don't try the same person, but you need to try 3, 4, 5 until one, like, hey, I want to help this person. People
Mhm.
like to help others, but you need to be direct. You need to like, hey, I really want this job. Can you please help me? The more direct you are and not afraid to ask, then people will help you. And
Yeah.
if you're afraid to ask, people just move on with their day. So you need to like be precise.
Yeah.
And somebody will help. It always works like this.
Yes, thank you very much. And if you could go back in time, would you change anything about your time at university, or would you give yourself any advice?
Um, to be honest with you, maybe I would change a degree that I studied, because when I picked accounting, I just picked it like, just a random pick. I wasn't sure yet what I want to do. But if I could change it, maybe I would even study like engineering or something to do with like AI technology, things like this, because I think it's very interesting. A lot of people, in California, they work for tech companies. And I
Yes.
think tech companies are super interesting because you're working for something, innovative, and they get paid a lot of money. Finance, when I started studying finance, I thought it's like a very, profitable job, which it is, but it's not even close to, success you can have with tech or engineering.
Yeah.
So like finance is good, it's good enough, you can have good life and, be profitable. But unless you're a financial advisor, and which I said is very complicated to get to become financial advisor, because it's a sales job where you need to find very wealthy older people, maybe 3 times your age, who have money, and convince them to invest with you. So it's very, very tough. And so unless you're an advisor, other aspects of financial, jobs, they pay decent. Again, you will have a good life, but they are not like, I'm super, well-to-do person. And unless maybe you don't want it, then it's fine. But there are other careers nowadays where people are my age, same, like they're 30, like me. And I have friends who work in tech and engineering, and it's also very interesting jobs. Again, you work on interesting projects and stuff, but they get paid double than I get paid, even though I get paid okay, well. They get paid double, so it's nice. Why would you not want that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, and you still work for something very interesting. It's not a boring job. Engineers, they all have very exciting things they work on, or tech. So I would perhaps, if I could look back, yeah, I would change my maybe industry. I'm happy with my job, but I would probably work for different industry. Even as it is, I would want to work for tech, or something like that, or engineering.